All right. What is up, beautiful people? Happy Monday. Today's an exciting day. It is a 4-year-old birthday for my firstborn baby, growing up a little bit too fast, Mr. Ryan. I posted some pictures earlier, actually like 10 minutes ago, so it wasn't that much earlier. But we had a birthday cake for him. Obviously, with quarantine, we were going to have a couple people over to go swimming, and then this hurricane, we ended up canceling it because of we thought we were going to have a big rain out. But anyway, we're going to have another bowling party for him. So he was super excited to wake up this morning and have a giant birthday cake to eat, obviously. So he's pumped. We're gonna go to Chuck E. Cheese a little bit later. What's up? How we doing? Welcome. But I just wanted to do a quick update on 6 weeks, and I don't really have anything, planned for you or anything like that. I do have kind of a story, something that I wanted to talk about real quick, but it's very, very interesting thus far. Right, 42 pounds is it's a big number, and I'm really starting to feel different. 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds. I felt a little bit different now at 40 pounds. I think it's kind of funny that Ryan turned 4, and now I have a 4 in front of my weight loss number, which, he's one of the big reasons why, my kids are one of the big reasons why I decided to change my lifestyle and be healthier for them. So I think that's kind of funny, right? So with 40 pounds, 42 pounds, really, it's I'm really starting to feel different. I'm starting to feel, I already talked about the energy levels. My energy levels were already up just by kicking the sugar habit, which I was super pumped about. But now I'm really starting to feel more flexible, which is awesome. So like just doing regular stuff, I found that, and you guys have seen pictures of me, I hold a lot of weight in my back. And I didn't necessarily realize how much that was restricting just regular motions and stuff like that. So just doing, regular basic stuff. I was out in the backyard in preparation because I thought people were going to come over for a pool party. And so on Saturday, I was out there for about 5 or 6 hours cleaning up and just doing all kinds of stuff out there. And that was the first time I was really, interestingly enough, like really physically active outside of this normal routine that I've been in, which is still focusing 100% on my diet and not really doing any exercise, right? So I've lost 42 pounds without a real exercise plan, which to anybody watching, anybody struggling, that's one of the biggest things. What's up, Lance? How you doing, buddy? One of the biggest, I guess, misconceptions in the trap that I didn't want to fall into, and something that everybody does, right? You have this feeling where you're like, oh, I got to lose weight. I got to go to the gym. Well, the gym is only, it's important, but if you're like me and you got to lose a ton of weight, now you guys probably know my goal is 200 pounds. So I'm almost a quarter of the way there, which is pretty cool. But your diet's the most important thing. You cannot work yourself out of a bad diet. So, trying to do too many things at one time is often a recipe for disaster. So like if you're trying to go from not working out at all and not being on any kind of a diet plan to going on an extreme diet plan and going to the gym, you're only going to be able to last so long with that recipe before it just falls apart. So for me, I'm hyper focused on the food that goes into my mouth, changing the relationship with my food, and losing 42 pounds as a result without any real exercise plan. It's definitely working, and I think that's one thing that I can recommend to anybody is make sure you pay attention to the foods going into your body before you start going on some ridiculous, trying to work out an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours a day before you really even, focus on your diet. That's really a big thing. So for me, I have had some people ask me as far as, and I'm not trying to promote anything or sell anything or do anything like that. This is just my journey that I'm documenting for my purpose. If it helps inspire other people, that's awesome. I am doing some one-on-ones with people that have reached out to me. So like, just basically kind of what I'm doing, but on a one-on-one level. So if you are interested, hit me up privately. Like that's not what this is about. I'm just trying to share my journey. So, but one thing that's really interesting to me, and so people have asked me like, Nick, what is it? What's the secret? Like, And I always used to think the secret. So like, what pill are you taking? What are you doing? And so for me, there is absolutely no secret. And if you break it down, it's really changing your relationship with food, right? So for me, every diet that I've ever been on my entire life has always revolved around completely eliminating something, right? And that's always kind of like the secret that people seek, right? So whether you're going like the Atkins diet, that was big for a while, and then that morphed into like the South Beach, and now that's kind of, then you have the caveman diet where it's meat only, and then keto is kind of a little variation of that. But it's always like these marketing plans, these diet plans are all about elimination and eliminating this and eliminating that, and you get to a point where, and I'm not saying that I'm not eliminating, but I'm doing it in a healthier fashion. It's more in terms of like, I'm just going to cut out carbs for the rest of my life. Well, you can lose weight and still eat carbs. I'm eating carbs right now and I'm still losing weight. It all comes down to basic science of how many calories you're taking in versus the output of your body. Like there's absolutely no secret to it, right? If you are at a resting state, like for me, I was 470 pounds when I first started. Okay. If you're at a resting state at that point, for me, I was probably taking in about 4,500 to 5,000 calories. That was the math that I kind of did, right? So at 4,500 calories per day, that's how many calories I needed to maintain that weight. So what I've done is I've taken, okay, I have a 200-pound weight loss goal. If I want to lose 200 pounds, how many calories does a 300-pound or 250-pound person need to maintain that weight? And so that's the secret, if there is a secret, right? So if you're eating 2,500 calories a day, try eating 1,500 calories a day. It's not that simple. There's a lot more to it because you got to eat the right things, right? There's certain things there. But for me, it's just very, very simple this time. And because I have a larger why, and that's where this whole thing kind of comes into, like your mindset and why you're actually going on a diet. Because it's hard, man. It's fucking, excuse my French, it is extremely difficult to change your patterns. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm out here, I'm taking pictures, I'm happy, like I'm super happy, right? I'm happy, but I'm hungry. I promise you that, right? So like, you have to change your patterns, your behavior, and that starts up here. So before you start anything like this, I recommend you figuring out exactly why you're doing it. Because on those days, like for me, those days that I really want pizza keeps coming back up, or if I really want to binge or do something else, it's more than just me. It's this purpose. Like, I have this purpose. So I really encourage you to figure out, before you just jump into something and just start doing keto because your friends are doing keto or whatever. Like, figure out your mind, figure out why you want to do this, and figure that out beforehand, because that'll help you through this journey, right? So one thing I did want to talk about real quick is when I was in my 20s and I was really considering getting my stomach stapled or doing the stomach surgery. And it was a really crazy thing back then, right? So like, I got all the way to the point where I went and saw a doctor. I got the appointment, like I was ready to go. And I ended up canceling or backing out at the last minute. My parents weren't exactly thrilled with it at that time. This was 15 years ago. It wasn't necessarily perfected. Not that it is now. I have no idea, because I don't have any idea. I haven't looked at it anymore. But it was one of those things where, like, if you're going to really do something that catastrophic to your body, talk to some other people. So at that time, I ended up reaching out to some people, and before you do that surgery, they actually get to promote you to talk to other people. And I found out that it was like, there was a big success rate, but there was a lot of people that ended up gaining all the weight back years later. And because I think it's because you get your stomach stapled, or you do that crazy surgery, like at first, sure, it is going to work because you're just taking in, again, it's way less calories that you're taking in, but you don't necessarily fix your mindset, because again, it's fixing that, like, you're trying to find the secret. I'm going to get this surgery because that's the secret and that's what I need. Okay. And it's not about that. It's about changing your relationship with food, and food is an addiction. And that's the process. It's almost like, I almost feel like not being on a diet, like food's just a byproduct of what I'm doing. And I don't know if this is like, I don't know what other products or anything are out there like that, but like food addiction is real. And so that's my main, me changing my relationship and how I feel and what I eat and why I eat it. All that stuff is a huge factor. So like, if I would have just gone in my 20s and got my stomach stapled, I didn't change my relationship with food. I would have ended up gaining all the way back. Or I have friends that do the same thing, right? They've gotten the stomach stapled and then they've gained all the way back because they never really changed their relationship with food. So that's my true intention. But the point of that whole kind of tirade, and that's, again, I didn't have much to talk about, but I did want to touch on that because back then, and I'm not going to tell you guys what plan I'm on, but I'm going to give you an idea of what this is, right? So back then, one of the reasons why I canceled at the last minute, besides the fact that it was a very evasive surgery and I was scared out of my mind, obviously, um, you met with a nutritionist and like you meet with a couple different people. And so what I found out is that they prescribe you a diet after you get your stomach stapled, right? And that diet in itself is kind of a standalone diet. It's prescribed by the hospital or at the time or whatever, the doctor. And that diet was called Medifast, and it's been around since the 70s, right? So I looked at that and I'm like, hey, well, if Medifast is the diet, if that's the end product, then why not just do that diet? Like, why go through all the problems of getting your stomach stapled if that's like, if that's it, right? So I kind of looked at that. I ended up canceling the stomach surgery, but then looked at that diet and I'm like, well, I can't do that because it was crazy, right? It was all these little meals and there wasn't a lot of calories and like, so I just really put it out of my head. I went back to the gym. I did lose about 50 or 60 pounds. Like I went on Atkins, and tried to get buff again or try to get real big in the gym and ended up going back because I never changed my eating habits. But the funny part is at that time I did have the realization that, it's calories in, calories out. Why am I going to go through all this crap? But I still went to like the restriction diet. I still went to the Atkins and carbs are bad. And I'm going to eat as much fat as I want because I can go to the gym and work out. So fast forward all these years and I'm back to a similar, I kind of had this huge aha moment with my coach Sherry because, when she bought a house from us and she lost 100 pounds and like, it was kind of like a full circle. It was like that aha moment that I needed because she had lost 100 pounds and talking to her, it was changing the relationship with food, just consuming less food than you take, than you output. And it's like, it's so simple to wrap your head around that it's almost crazy. And you get caught up with all this crap about keto and hot, I'm going to restrict all my carbs. There's none of that. It's super simple. How much do you weigh? How much weight do you want to lose? Let's backwards math it and figure it out from that aspect. So I know I got a couple people. Philip, what's up, buddy? Metz, how you doing, my friend? Metz is actually Sherry's husband. Good guy. I've known him since I worked at Sound Advice way back in the day. 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9. When did they close? 2008? I don't know. Vic, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Lauren? A formula that I can post. Yeah, hit me up on Messenger. We could talk about that. But yeah, so this whole thing, and it's super hard, man. I'm telling you, changing habits, it's really, really difficult. I feel amazing. Like I'm here to tell you today as I sit, I feel amazing. My clothes are literally falling off me already. But it's still a struggle every single day because it's so easy to fall into those habits because I've been doing it for 35 years, 36 years, right? It's so easy to just want to fall back on what's easy. It's easy to be in those old habits because another thing that kind of helps, and as far as mindsets, like getting your mind right, it's all about emotions. It's all about emotions for me anyway. Maybe for you, it might be a little bit different. But for me, happy, sad, not great day, whatever, frustrated, like it all falls back into food. So, knowing that like right now I have this ultimate goal of 200-pound weight loss. I have this huge why of being around for my kids and wanting to be able to be as active as I can with them, not having to tell them, daddy can't do this because he can't run or like whatever, all that bullshit. I don't want to deal with any of that stuff. I just want to be able to do everything with them. So I have a huge why, I have a huge, burning inside of me to check that. So when I think about wanting to eat pizza when I'm really hungry, like that's what comes back. But talking about emotions, like the emotions that come up, I know right now that I'm not my emotions. So if you hear this, like you heard me about having successful habits, when you cave to your emotions and you're how can I explain this? And you're caving into just being easy. It's really like the reptilian part of your brain just trying to keep you safe, because change is hard and your body, your brain is very primitive, right? So doing things that are easy for you or doing things that come natural to you don't ever break you out of that shell that you're in, and you're never going to progress by doing the same things. Okay, so all your brain's trying to do is keep you safe, and by being safe, my body's saying, hey, I'm 400 pounds, I need to eat all this food because that's what keeps me safe. Well, that's not what keeps me safe. So like your brain and your body don't necessarily connect on that fashion. So right now I know that I'm not my emotions. I'm somebody else. I'm leaving that guy behind. So when that reptilian brain pops up and says, dude, eat that pizza. You want some pizza, you had a bad day or whatever, like frustrated, you're starving. I know that I'm not the person that I want to be, that I'm becoming, that I'm changing to, is different than that person that's in that emotional state at that moment. I don't know if that's a long-winded way of explaining. I don't know if I did that great as far as explaining that, but I know right now that I am not the person that I want to be, is not the emotional state that I'm in right now. Okay. So when I'm sad, when I'm happy, when I'm whatever, when I'm eating, like, changing my relationship and knowing that I don't need to consume. And honestly, being outside for 6 hours on Saturday, cleaning up the pool deck, moving stuff around, being pretty active, like that was the most I've been active. And I was a little nervous. I'll be honest with you. I was nervous going out there with the amount of calories that I'm consuming now. I'm like, man, am I going to, go out there and have heat stroke or something because it's 95, 98 degrees outside? I'm on the same plan. I didn't deviate anything, but I was a little nervous going out there, and to go out there for 5 or 6 hours, be soaking wet with sweat, get a good workout from moving stuff around, doing pressure washing, like all that stuff. It might sound basic and simple to people who like work out all the time and run and stuff, but like I'm 400 pounds, so like that kind of activity was a lot. But being able to do that and not changing what I ate that day is probably no surprise that I lost 7 pounds this week. Another thing that I did is I did tweak my healthy fats a little bit. So I didn't eat as much avocado this week, which I think that might have been something that that changed a little bit. So I think I was eating a little bit too much healthy fat. But yeah, so like that's pretty much it. I just want to check in with you guys. I do feel fantastic. I haven't started anything yet as far as a workout routine. I'm just hyper focused on what I'm putting in my mouth, changing my habits, and it's awesome. It sucks and it's awesome. Really weird. I don't know how I don't know how you could be on both states, because some days I'm like, or some meals, I shouldn't say some days, because it's only around the time when I'm getting a little bit hungry. I'm like, this sucks. I want to eat something good, right? But that's where the habits come in, having the plan in place. I'll tell you, if you don't have a plan, like you got to have a plan, and having an accountability partner is huge as well. So I appreciate you guys following my journey. For everybody that's reaching out to me, I definitely appreciate it. If I can help you in any way, I hope I can, be some inspiration, because if my fat ass can lose weight, I know I probably have to lose more weight than 99% of you that are watching this video or following me. You can definitely do it too. So just some small tweaks, making a plan, having an accountability partner, figuring out how many calories you're taking in on a daily basis, and just cut out the crap. Like start small, right? Cut out soda, cut out sweet tea, all that sugar crap. It's not good for you. It's terrible. You'll feel so much better. And just be hyper focused on trying to eat every couple hours, right? Keep that metabolism going, and you can start off. If you need anything from me, shoot me a message. Definitely appreciate it. Let's see who we got on live here still. Mets. I'm glowing. I don't know if I'm glowing, dude. I got some lights in here. I set my studio up nice. This could be the tan from the weekend. I don't know. I was outside for a while, so maybe so. And definitely appreciate you being there for me. I got to talk to Sherry today, so appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching. We're gonna go spend the day with Ryan. Have a happy birthday, and I'll see you guys maybe in a week, maybe a couple weeks. I didn't really have anything to talk about last week, so I didn't. But yeah, feeling good, happy, but hungry, but that's okay. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right.